Alright, so let's settle in. And let's read what this affidavit has to say. It's a signed affidavit. It's a felony 3 to purge yourself. It's a felony 3, which is a minimum of 12 months mandatory by state law in a penitentiary, serving the rest of the 5 years on paper, probation, parole, if you will, the rest of the time. So out of 5 years, if you serve 4 in prison, you do 1 year on parole. If you do 1 year in prison, then you do 4 years on parole. It's a mandatory minimum, mandatory state law, 12 months in prison, 5-year final servitude sentence for the crime of perjury in the state of Ohio. Felony 3. So it doesn't matter where anybody else lives, or what state, or what mountain, or how far or many hours away they are. If you're in a penitentiary in a different state away that's 6 hours away, you're going to be living in a penitentiary that's 6 hours away from everybody else that's 6 hours away. Let's get into the affidavit. It has me listed as the plaintiff. That has the defendant as the defendant. So this is a motion to reallocate parental rights and responsibilities. Now comes the defendant, who shall at this time remain nameless. By and through unsigned counsel, and respectfully moves the court's order. 1. Designating the defendant as the legal custodian of the minor child, who shall remain nameless at this time. She's a female. Birth shall remain only to me for now. See how I want to say that. So, review the existing child support order, which the existing child support order is that she pays no child support. She's never paid one red penny in her entire life or the whole existence of my children's lives. She's never paid 1 red cent in her life of child support. Okay? Any other court orders deems necessary or appropriate. For cause the defendant asserts, it is the best interest of the minor child to be in her custody, and the reasons are set forth fully at the hearing above in the captioned matter. Okay, so let me ask you this. If a child is 5 and 6, and they've been in the full custody of their father since birth, but legally since 7 months for her and 5 months for him, roughly 6 months apiece, and they're soon to be 6 and 7 years old, and I'm the only person that's never left them and never abandoned them, and the only person that's always stayed with them and always been with them for their entire lives, how is it in the best interest? How? In what world would it be in the best interest for the only person that's never left their lives to be ripped away from their lives? How is that in the best interest of the children? Here's another question. They've only known her as MOMMY 3 years ago to the day, today, right now. Now, the last time that they seen her was a little bit over 2 years ago. She came back November 10th, was introduced as girl, and she left December 18th. That was November 10th, 2019, December 18th, 2019. She was here for 39 days as girl, introduced as girl, and left as girl. They never even knew that she was MOM. They did not know. They didn't know. And so they still don't know. So they don't know who MOM is. So you're telling me it's in the best interest of this last name that's mine and this last name that's mine to be ripped from me, never to be seen again, and to be taken and put into custody of another person who is told this is your MMY, but they have no idea who that person is. And that is in the best interest of the children, and not what somebody else is looking out for their wants and desires of their own person. And the attorney that filed this paperwork is the second time that she filed it, and the third time that she was hired to do so. She was obtained by this so-called defendant. The first time was in between October 31st, 2017 and December 25th, 2017. She was obtained and paid monies and given this signed affidavit to file it in this court system. But she didn't do it because the defendant went back to the attorney, withdrew the money, and said, I don't file this affidavit. Because she was afraid she was going to get busted, was one, because she knows there were lies. And then 2 years later, after coming back, December 25th, 2017, and leaving again January 19th, 2018, after, being here for 24 days, he was gone for 54 days, came back for 24 days. And it's just the same. There was like in between January 19th, 2018 and November 10th, 2018. You know what I mean? That's months. That's 8-9 months. 9-10 months apart. So I had her come back as girl. She was here for 39 days and she left again. Now they haven't seen, they haven't had any MOMMY for 756 days, and it's in the best interest to take the only solid person, the only accountable, the only responsible, okay, the only stable person. She doesn't know how to apply life to them or build a life for them or create a life for them. Look at the allegations. This is an affidavit of a defendant. It reads, now comes the defendant, who still at this time shall remain nameless, first being duly sworn, deposes and states the following. 1. She is the biological and legal mother of the daughter. Plaintiff, me, is the biological and legal father. Well, you need to be one corrected already. You're the natural mother. So the natural means biological. You're the natural mother. You're not the legal anything. You have never been the legal mother of either child. At 7 months old, I got full custody of my daughter when you signed your rights away, which is in this stack of papers, which in this pile of papers is 7 years of truth. You signed your rights away to that girl, and when she was 7 months old, and a year later you repeated the same thing and signed your rights away to this next stack of papers here for my son. So, and not only did you sign your rights away, each of them roughly 6 months, you'd never filed any paperwork to be their legal anything. So in line number 1, that you are their legal mother is already incorrect. You are not and have never been, and you never will be. Honor is currently in the legal custody of the plaintiff. So this is Freedom's paperwork. And they already numbered line number 2. There is a second mistake. They can't even get the name of the child right. Whoever typed this up, I don't know. And it was filed by Nikki Reed. Nikki Reed is the one that filed this paperwork, that knows that her defendant came here, went and got the money back and told her not to file this, and then left again, and then later gave her the same purged affidavit and had her file it. We went to 2 court dates. And after the second one, she dropped the case. She, the defendant, dropped the case against me, the plaintiff, because again, she knew that she had purged this, that it's full of lies, and that the next hearing, I was going to be able to testify and show my evidence, and she was going to get busted and arrested. So she dismissed it. She knows this information in this purged affidavit are lies and is not true. So this is the third time that this counselor, attorney, Nikki Reed, has been hired to do this job. This is the second time that she filed it. And when she filed it the first time, she knew that it was corrupt and not correct, that it was fraudulent, that it was purged. This is a purged affidavit. And this is the second time that she has filed this purged affidavit. That is highly egregious and that is highly prejudiced. It is highly wrong, and there's a definite, wow, shocking factor to that. Somebody who is supposed to protect and defend minors and look out for the best interest of children is definitely being very, at the minimum, irresponsible of filing this with zero evidence. And secondarily, for me to have documented evidence that she factually knew that she left out number 2 the second time that this happened, making it, instead of 1, 2, 3, only 1 and 2, leaving out the middle time of 3, only making the first time and the third time the second time? That's illegal. If I can prove that you knew the truth and you filed this paperwork, you don't think I can? You think I'm just doing this for my health? Continue on number 3. I resided with the plaintiff and our minor children until approximately 2017. No, it was Halloween of 2017. It was October 31st of 2017. It was 5:30 a.m. 2017. And you walked right out the door. At that time, the initial first time for me just not wanting my kids to wake up the next day and not have a mommy here, I was on my knees begging you to stay. That's why there's no video of the first time that you left. I purposely let you leave in secret as to not them see you leave. And I was in the middle of begging you, literally on my hands and knees crying for you to stay here. We both know why there's no video of the first time. But luckily for me, you messed up. You didn't say that you left the second and third time and the first time didn't exist, because you probably could have got away with that. But since you were being dishonest, you wasn't being very bright either. Your nervousness and your lies made you mess up. And so saying 1 and 3, leaving out 2, was a big mistake on you. Okay, let me read on. Approximately October 7, 2017, at which time the plaintiff kicked me out of the home. The plaintiff and I reconciled, and he kicked me out of the home again. December 2018. I have not seen the minor since that time. You see the problem here? Any reasonable person that listens to any of this evidence, that looks at all of this factual, documented evidence, any reasonable person will tell you this affidavit is purged. It is highly egregious and prejudiced. The manner of which it was filed by the attorney with zero evidence is egregious and highly prejudiced. My case needs to be dismissed with prejudice. I want a 5-year civil protection order filed for myself and my children against this woman. She is a very dangerous person attempting to deceive and manipulate your honor, the court, the system, the city, the county, the state, and anybody else that she can manipulate. She's attempting to do so now. As she continues on, she says, it is not safe for either minor to be in the legal custody of the plaintiff. Okay, well, if this information was true, October 2017, and you're really worried about the safety of these children, why is it January of 2021 Why did you dismiss the case last time? Why did you not file it the first time? If I'm such a danger to these children and they're not safe with me, why did you not file it the first time? Why did you dismiss the case the second time? And this is my point of you being the dangerous one and us being unsafe because of you manipulating and deceiving courts is a very dangerous thing that I am afraid of, and I need a CPO for 5 years for myself and my children away from this woman and any third party now.